I've been traveling the world for the past 10 years, and very often I get asked the same question. What's your favorite country? And I always say Lithuania is one of my favorite countries, and people are like, where's that? And I need to start from the beginning.
I just came back from this long trip in Northern Europe, and there's one thing I still can't understand. Why Lithuania has remained such an understated country for so long. So in this video I'm going to share it with you in 3 parts so you understand how exciting this country is, and hopefully by the end of the video this will be on your to-do list. Let's get down to the most important fact about Lithuania. Yes, fast forward to the beginning of the 15th century and you'll see that the Grand Duchy of Lithuania was indeed the largest kingdom in Europe, which was led by the Duke Witold the Great to the country's peak. In fact, it included parts of today's Russia, Belarus, Poland and Ukraine. This once expansive empire slowly shrunk after joining ties with neighboring rivals Poland to form the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth in 1569. And finally being overtaken by the Russian Empire from 1812 onwards. Lithuania became part of the Russian Empire. Their language was banned, one of the oldest languages in the world, banned. Then the Germans occupied Lithuania in 1915 and offered Lithuanians the choice of being with them or Russia. Lithuania said no to both options, and they signed the Act of Independence in February 16, 1918. But then the Soviet Union occupied Lithuania again, triggering a genocide. Then the Nazi Germany occupied with their own genocide. And 3 years later, the Soviets occupied Lithuania one more time, sentencing Lithuania to 46 more years of occupation. But something magical was about to happen. The Baltic states of Lithuania, Estonia and Latvia formed a peaceful protest against the Soviet Union. Roughly 2 million people formed a 600 kilometers human chain across the 3 countries. This led to Lithuania's independence on March 11, 1990, the first of the Soviet republics to do so. So we have a local person today with us. You probably know her already, but if not, let's reintroduce her. Labas, Kristina, kaip sekasi?
Labas, labai gerai, kaip tau?
Gerai, ačiū. The first topic obviously is gonna be basketball. When we think about basketball, what we really think is about legends like NBA people like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. We don't really think about Lithuanian basketball, but these guys actually have a very strong team. So what I read is that Lithuania in the 1930s won 2 Eurobasket, and could you say that basketball appetite started from that point in time?
Yeah, actually I think that was the time when Lithuanians started winning, became very strong, and the only problem that we had, it was we were always occupied by one country or another, so I think it was kind of a mental escape.
Actually, fair point, because I remember watching with you
don't bring me back to that movie.
It's actually a very inspirational story about the 1992 Lithuanian basketball team. As you know, in 1988, Lithuania won the Olympics in basketball. It was not Lithuania, it was the Soviet Union. Probably 80% of the team were Lithuanians. So in 1992, as an independent country, they play in this basketball competition in Barcelona in the Olympics. They won the bronze. The dream team was the US because it was the first time that they played with active NBA players. The other dream team is Lithuania in this case, and you won the bronze.
When I talk about it, I become very emotional, but maybe it's just me. When I watched that movie, I literally cried as a baby, and you see I'm getting emotional as well now. What lesson you can take is that don't take things from granted, because people were fighting so much to show that we can and we are able, and kind of show the world that we have something, even though we are small and we want to be listened.
Absolutely right, because as an independent country, such a small country like 2.8 millions, you are able to compete at that high level with the US and teams like that. It's just impressive. So Sabonis is a Michael Jordan in Lithuania. Historically, everyone loves Sabonis.
If you don't know Sabonis, in what village have you lived on your life and you don't know, it's impossible not to know him.
Yeah, I think even when we went to Lithuania a couple of years ago, we watched Žalgiris. And the coach back in the days was Šarūnas.
Yeah, Jasikevičius, yeah.
And he's also a legend, right? Sabonis was more for, let's say, people in the 80s or 90s, and Šarūnas, I think, more for a younger generation.
I grew up with Šarūnas, Macijauskas, Jevtokas.
I think with Kristina we can relate a lot in basketball because I'm Argentinian, and if you think about this, the US won every single gold medal except for 2004 in Athens in those Olympics where Argentina won the gold medal. Every time I whistle, Kristina is can you explain me what's so wrong when I whistle?
It's kind of you kind of call devils in this sense. So I don't think about it, I just don't like it too much.
When we got married in Argentina, I remember your family, they came with black bread and salt. And what was that about it?
Rye bread represents the fact that they wish you to have always food on the table. And salt, it's a spice, so your life should be spicy. And remember that it's not always, only good things, but sometimes you need to swallow things as well.
Black bread combined with salt brings good luck and health and positive vibes, right?
Good in life, basically.
I guess you never sat down in the corner of a table.
Oh,
right?
No. You will be unmarried for 7 years, if I'm correct?
Yeah, I always find that fascinating because you're a Christian country. Obviously the last country in Europe to be converted to Christianity, but you have a very long history of being a pagan country. And I think most of these, superstition things come from being pagan for so long, right?
Yeah, they were fighting against Christianity, they were fighting against new rules. To become a kingdom back in 13th century, it was a very, very big, win in Lithuanian history, but it happened just once. We had King Mindaugas only once in our history.
Alright, so let's talk about a different topic, storks. Every time I go to Lithuania, I pay attention to the houses. What's going on with storks in Lithuania?
I think the house is blessed because the stork chooses to come to your place, and it kind of gives a protection. We have always had storks and we were kind of waiting for the storks are coming.
Okay, so probably the last topic. But Lithuanians in general, when you see them for the first time, they don't smile, they don't laugh, like they're very, serious people. They have a good sense of humor. And in 2018, I think it was Vilnius, they put an ad on TV, like the G-spot of Europe, to promote tourism. What was that?
I think it was to say that, look, we are in the middle of Europe and no one knows about us. It's kind of the best happens there in the sense. There's so much stuff going on in Lithuania, why don't you come and enjoy? Obviously it attracted attention, but if the attention was positive or ironic, I'm not too sure.
Alright, that's all guys, and thanks so much Christina as always for your time.
Pleasure.
You guys, if you stayed this long, if you survived this long and you generally enjoyed the video, please feel free to press like so YouTube can recommend it to more people like you.
And if you want to make his day, please press this button down here.
To subscribe, right? And thanks so much for watching and
see you next week.
What do I believe? What makes me feel it? To write you